1. It is week, 7, day 2. And we didn't get to do a pre-game talk because it was quick to get started. So one of my runners was having some issues with a little muscle right here in front of her shin. It's called the anterior tibialis. So a lot of people confuse it with shin splints, but it's not shin splints. Shin splints are really like true little fractures in the bone because of stress and I don't really know what else. But a common thing is to have this little muscle screaming at you. So we stopped and walked, which is always a good idea. And we were just talking about foam rolling. So then I thought, hey, let's do the video with the foam rolling today. So this is the foam roller. So typically, you buy them. I borrowed this from the Oneonta YMCA. Thank Frank Russo. Love ya. So typically, when you buy this, you can buy it in any store. So this is something that you can buy at Dick's or at Walmart or a running store or order it online. And it's going to be about half the size usually. But I always say it looks like a noodle, like a swim noodle, but it's solid, okay? But it's very light, and it is the most ridiculously torturous device you will ever come across in your life, but it's very good for you. So what you do is you're giving yourself a deep massage, essentially. So I'm not going to get into all the technical words, but just put your mind into that frame of mind that this is a massage. So even though it kind of hurts, it's good for me and it really feels good, kind of. So I'm going to start with that little anterior tibialis right there. So what you're going to do is basically you can roll any muscle. So you can see that I'm going slowly. And really right now I don't have any pain. But when you do feel something, like right here. So when you start to it'll take your breath away. And I would say you kind of go into like Lamaze breathing or something. And that's when you know you're in the right spot. And then you just hold it and breathe through it. So my weight is I have very little weight on my hands. My weight is really on my leg so that I can get that pressure right into that muscle. So then you just hold it and you'll feel it release, hold it 30 or 45 seconds and you'll feel it start to release and then move like half an inch down and it's gonna hurt again. And then just keep breathing through it. So that's a great muscle to roll on both sides. What's another one? My IT band, okay? So quite often people will say, I can't run because I have knee issues. Now, I'm not saying that that's not true, but the vast majority of the time, it's just because you're out of alignment. So especially with women, because our hips are so wide, this little muscle, this little medial quad right here, it's like a little teardrop muscle, is very weak. So by strengthening this little muscle and then rolling your IT band, because this is notoriously tight in men and women, so by keeping your IT band nice and loose and strengthening this muscle, that'll help your kneecap to track appropriately. So you'll know the difference between a true knee injury, which is an acute pain, boom, and you can almost pinpoint the pain, versus when you start running and you're warming up and then your blood starts flowing. There's always that first 10 or 15 minutes that really, really sucks because it's like your blood's starting to go through and your muscles are really burning. And then once you get beyond that, you feel better. But if that's when your knee pain starts and it's more of like an ache as opposed to a very specific acute thing, then it's probably having the imbalances. So strengthening this and keeping that nice and loose. So to roll your IT band so gracefully, and really it runs from your hip down the outside of your leg to your knee. So the same thing. I'm keeping my weight right on that, and then breathing through it and letting it release, and then moving down a little bit more, breathing through it, letting it release. So you can do that for your IT band, obviously on both sides. piriformis. So again, I'm going to try to stay away from all the technical verbiage, but basically I would say my piriform ass. So it's like the outside of where my hip meets my ass, basically. So I like to cross my leg like this, and then you just lean over just a little bit, and then you'll feel another delightful sensation. So then rolling that is a good thing. You can do your hamstrings. Okay, notice how I'm still keeping my form though. I'm not like a limp noodle. I'm still keeping my form the whole time. So my hamstrings, the idea is to get as much body weight as you can on it, wherever it may hurt. I don't have any trigger points here. Calves, same thing. What else can we roll? We can roll, okay, so the back. Now, a lot of the times you'll see people rolling their back with it going across their back, like laterally. And I don't like that because I can feel myself going over it too much, and that doesn't feel good for my back. So then I like to turn it like this. So then I have that support, and then I can go towards like my shoulder blade and really get into it. Or I can even move down a little bit to get a little extra pressure. So then I can get my lats, I can get it right around my shoulder blade. So my lats are like the big muscle groups down at the bottom of my back. So good. Rolled on my own hair. So the cool thing about getting your foam roller is that it will come with like a little poster of all these different rolls that you can do as well. I always say you can roll anything, just don't roll a joint. So, and number 2 is make sure you drink a ton of water afterwards. So you're releasing all of these toxins and just the byproducts of this massage. So just like if you go to go for a massage or the chiropractor, you have to drink a lot of water afterwards because you have to flush that out. And I remember the first time I was ever introduced to a foam roller, I was like, oh yeah, sure, I drank water, and you know, and the next day I felt like I had the flu. And really, it was because I didn't drink enough. So definitely up your water if you're doing this. You throw a little lemon in, a little cucumber, a little mint, you're good to go. Otherwise, that's all I have for today. You can do this every day. You can do it to warm up before you work out. You can do it after you work out as a cool down. You can roll to your heart's desire. So enjoy, and you will probably feel